name's Clive Collins.
And I'm David Reed.
And you're watching
From the Bench.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today, David, in the last video, I've been absent for a couple of videos. It's good to be back. It feels good to be back.
Yeah, it's nice to be back, but I've had to do videos by myself since you've been busy as well. Like sort of college, so how things work in college is we have one day to do media most of the time, but this week we have a bit more days since our last daters. And that's why I'm just going to work, so that's why I've been doing more interviews with Danny, so you've seen the part 2 video being up. I've done about 10 minutes ago, I did an analysis video I did on England versus Iceland.
So that'll go up before this, probably, won't it?
Yeah, I'll try to see what...
It depends which one wants to go up first.
Yeah, this is my files on.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, today we're going to be talking about Norwich's game against Manchester United, and for me, an excellent performance from Norwich all round, and we definitely deserve something out of that game, didn't we, David?
You can say about any game, really. At the end of the day, you didn't get 3 points, Man United did. And for a team, you need to dig deep in, for these games...
You can't say we didn't dig deep. In this game, Norwich, I've never seen Norwich dig deeper.
You can dig deeper, though.
We
if
were
you
so
dug deeper, you could win that game. Most of them got a load of injuries out, and this we should capitalise on.
Yeah, the thing is, you know who... Norwich were the one that had the injuries.
But United had a load of injuries as well.
Manchester United played against, all of recent weeks, almost a B team Norwich. You had, I'm going to use the red, I'll use it for Man U as well. Did you know this starting? Kabak starting, Rook starting, and Placheta starting. All three of which haven't started, and well, Rook's played quite a lot recently, but
he's a Champions League defender. He's a Champions League defender.
Kabak hasn't been in because Hanley, especially Ben Gibson, has been excellent recently.
Yes, because he is terrible. We look at him against Everton, he was terrible.
But against Manchester United, he probably had his best game.
He has good games.
That was 100% his best game.
He has good games now and again, but he's not good. The only reason you got him is because Schalke's finance are a bit, honestly.
Obviously, so first 10-15 minutes, Manchester United, they're on us a little bit, and I thought we dealt with the press quite well. I thought we pressed ourselves really well, and for me, I know people don't like him, and I know people get frustrated because he can't finish. I love Josh Sargent to bits, but in front of goal, he is like a deer in front of headlights, and he just goes in front of goal. He's like, "What do? I'm a striker. I don't know how to shoot." And it's like he gets so nervous. And like another player who I thought, and as I was going to say, I thought Josh Sargent had a really good game. Probably one of his best games in the Norwich shirt. It's just, unfortunately, obviously, he does struggle in front of goal, and whether that's something we can fix, I'm not sure. But I don't mind him on that wing. I think he looks quite decent. We'll go through the players that haven't played recently, and I'll go through how I think they played against Manchester United. And I want to talk about this man over here, Placheta. I think I'm saying that right, but I'm almost certain it's wrong.
You get a slate in the comments now.
Yeah, probably
all
the Polish people will come in and say, "No, you say it like this." But Przemysław Placheta, I've tried my best.
He gets the bus home, by the way, so you can see him.
For me, I thought he played really, really well. I thought he'd done well on the left side. Sent who was it? Sent Maguire for a biscuit.
Well, he's a human freak, so you can't
got a shot on goal, and I thought he handled Tellez quite well. And yeah, for me, Placheta had a really good game. I think he's a player that we obviously Norwich haven't seen much of. He had one little 5-minute interval this season earlier on, but other than that, we didn't really see him last season either. Maybe at the start he scored a nice volley against Preston. I think if Dean Smith can start getting something out of this lad, he could be really dangerous. David, what do you think?
I think
he's quick. He's rapid.
But you can say about Dom McCrone, he can't have a bar on goal. We haven't seen it. He's done it a bit okay in the Championship. It's a bit in the Prem, but it's too soon to say. Yeah. He's going to be your saviour.
Oh no, definitely. Obviously, he needs more games, but I think if Dean Smith can get something out of him, then
he needs support around him.
Yeah.
When you look, he gets Iceland by himself, being youngster and quick. If he can go there quickly, Putin's going to go after him. Yeah. You've been after Sargent up there. And do you really want Sargent? Crossing one to Sargent.
And this is why Norwich need Rashica back, because Rashica and Jolis would both complement Placheta, because all three of them are quite fast. Obviously, we know Rashica's quick, he's explosive. We know Placheta is quick, is explosive, but Rashica also has that added ability. And I think we have seen that this season, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what Dean Smith can get out of this young man. Obviously, Norwich are playing today, and it'll be interesting. I think Placheta, I almost think the team won't really change. There's rumours that potentially Norman might be back, so I could see him on the bench. Norwich's bench was fairly interesting, to be fair. We had Tompkinson on the bench, obviously one of Norwich's young centre-halves. He was on the bench, and everyone almost thought, when Grant Hanley went off, I'm pretty sure it's a collarbone injury, done really well, shepherded the ball out for Ronaldo. Ronaldo took Grant Hanley out. He won a free kick, and I think there's an issue with the Grant Hanley's collarbone, and from what Dean Smith said, Grant Hanley will sadly be out for the foreseeable future. So who knows what's going to happen there. But one man that came on, and I think not shocked the world, but impressed everyone with his ability to almost pocket Ronaldo for 90 minutes other than the penalty, and that man is Jakob Sorensen. He's a player that, especially under the Daniel Farke era, was a player that everyone was ranting and raving about. He was the CDM. He came in from Denmark, and everyone was quite excited. And obviously, we haven't actually seen. I can't recall a time where I've seen Jakob Sorensen play in that CDM role. However, obviously, last season in the Championship, I can't remember who it was at the time. I think it might have been Yanulis. So we just signed him, and he got injured almost straight away. And the only option we had was Jakob Sorensen. And in he came at left back against Brentford at home. No, sorry, Brentford away from home. We drew 1-1. He came on, I think it was like in the 50th minute, if I remember rightly. This is really in the memory bank of last season. And he played really, really well and stuck in the team for a good half of the season until Yanulis came back and proved his quality. And I think he's done that again this season. We'll get on to Yanulis, as I think he's a quality player. But Sorensen, sorry. David, what is in store for this young man?
Well, you see how good Denmark's generation's going now. So you've got King, Haaland, you've got players like that. And he's surrounded by good talent internationally as well, and he's good, and he's got a real driving force behind him. He has, so he can do well at Norwich. He's going to win trophies, like the Championship trophies. He's going to do well, and if he keeps performing like he does, and you can see like with Milner how versatile Milner is. If he can be versatile playing cam, centre mid,
centre half, left back. That's what I mean. He's a CDM, and yes, and on Saturday, to be honest, he was probably one of our best players, and he was playing centre half, and he had a really good game. And I think this young man has a lot of potential, and the fact we haven't even I'm saying this, and us Norwich fans haven't even seen him in his natural position yet. And he just looks so composed. I would much rather, at the back, I love Grant Hanley to bits, but I would much rather see Sorensen receive the ball than Grant Hanley receive the ball. When I see Sorensen receive the ball, I could almost sit back in a deck chair and have a drink, have a martini, stick some sunglasses on, and just let him do his thing. He's so composed. He's one of the most composed footballers I think we've got at this football club, and I think on the ball he looks absolutely excellent. He had Ronaldo barreling down on him, and he'd done this little turn and just passed the ball like it was nothing. Like easy stuff. I've dealt with worse before, and it's like he's just a player that I think has so much potential. And like I said, we haven't even seen him in his natural position yet. So David, where can Sorensen go?
He's got to keep consistency, I think, and he's got
100%.
If
he can play like that against Villa again tonight,
he's got to hold down position. He can't be bouncing everywhere and not having a firm position. That really hurts. Someone like Ashley Young, he wasn't really playing like left back, right back, in up front. He was like that's what he does for Villa. He needs to find a starting position. He does, and Andy Villa said, "This is my position. I'm going to fight it, and I'm going to work in training every day to be that best position I am." And that's what he needs to do. He doesn't need to go, I do utility, but I can play here and there. I'm just about good everywhere.
I think you're right, because the only issue with that is obviously, I mean, I think Sorensen could potentially in the future be one of our best players, but I think because Norwich's midfield is so stacked, and more recently the midfield, the players are getting better and better. We'll talk about this man in the middle, Lucas Rupp, who I thought against Manchester United probably had his best game in a Norwich shirt. I thought he was excellent. I think. But yeah, when you're looking at the midfield, you've got Gilmore. McLean is a very reassured midfielder. Obviously, you've got Norman to come back in. Dowell sitting on the bench. He's got a lot of quality. And I think it's just Todd Cantwell as well. He can play cam. And when you look at all these players, obviously it's going to be hard for Sorensen to get a foot in the door. But if he's putting performances like that out of position, surely that's got to get Dean Smith's brain ticking as to, God, I want to see him in his... I'd love to see Norman and Sorensen play next to each other in the midfield. I think that could be so dangerous. But we'll move on. Obviously, I think Sorensen will appreciate, Lungi will appreciate what we've said about him. We'll move up the pitch a little bit and we'll go back to these two in a little while. Lucas Rupp. David, what have you seen of Lucas Rupp this season? How much do you think he's developed as a player over the last 2 years?
I think he's been good, but like I say, like most of the Norwich players aren't proven, like, apart from Pookie, Krul, Hat to back. Not many are proven in the Premier League, and that's the problem. You can say he's been good in the Championship, so a few good games. But the test of a good player is consistent. Can he do that next season? Can he get Norwich? Can he keep him up? That's to show if he's a good player. If he's just, that'll show that will stand him out from the rest of the players. If he can be that match-winning player, that's what always puts the tackles in. The one that always goes. No matter how tired he is, like over the 95th minute, 98th minute, he's the one who keeps going.
Still running, still sprinting, just like this man does up here. Obviously, Josh Sargent isn't the best player in the world, but we know how hard he works. We know he can be the difference in the game. And I thought against Manchester United, he was really, really good. But yeah, like you were saying, Lucas Rupp, if he can keep doing these good performances and putting them in, and I thought Manchester United looked like one of our best midfielders, and probably almost as good as Gilmour in that game, to be honest. And he's a player that gets a lot of hate, he gets a lot of stick. People don't like him because he's unknown. And this is what I love about Norwich. We bring through these players, they're unknown. No one knew who Pookie was, really, before he joined Norwich in the 18-19 season, did they?
Nobody said about any player like.
But this is what I mean, and this is what I love about Norwich City. They bring through the unknown, and Rupp is one of these players that I think the Premier League, most Premier League fans have probably never heard of him, and he came in against Manchester United and bossed the midfield, to be honest. I thought winning headers, winning the second ball, that's what he was best at on Saturday. Is Rupp won nearly every second ball in that midfield, and he was absolutely excellent. And I'd certainly like to see him start again tonight.
I was saying, like, when you started the game, like the first time I was thinking, you weren't winning second balls, right?
Yeah.
Now you've got something you can say, if I can do this, why can't you now?
Yeah.
Like, that's a bit more inspiration to the lads. It's like, you're going to stay up there, you know you can. If he can win a second ball, nobody will why Kabak can't do, why Hamley can't do. People like that can't win a second ball.
Yeah.
With
Obviously,
Gilmour,
Kenny McLean's another player that does that really well. I think Kenny McLean busts a gut every single time he's on the pitch. And like I said, Norwich's midfield is stacked. If Rupp doesn't play, you put McLean there, Gilmour there, Norman in there. Obviously, Hanley got injured. You had Sorensen. Excuse my handwriting, ladies and gentlemen. They can just about read that.
Hieroglyphics, honestly.
Hieroglyphics. Yeah, you got Sorensen in there, and I thought he was excellent. Kabak, I thought he had a really good game, blocking crosses, blocking shots, and just getting in the way, using his strength, using his ability. And I thought he was a lot more disciplined on Saturday, actually. He didn't go on one of these silly runs, although he does move a bit like a bus.
Well, he is. When you're looking back, he's not kind of. If he was very good, he'll be playing in the Bundesliga now. He'll be playing the Champions League Cup. He's with you because of Schalke's finance. That's
Well, yeah, the only reason he's at Norwich is because Schalke can't afford to have him.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you've got it.
So we've got to use him while we've got him.
Yeah, and if he does well, though, you're keeping him, aren't you?
Yeah. If Norwich stay up, he's in the buyout clause.
If he does badly though, and you stay up, you could lumber with him. That's the thing. And trying to sell him on, and he's such a risk. He is. Like, he's not one of the top centre backs.
Yeah, but is he a risk? I mean, he is, but he's young. He's strong. He's good in the tackle. He put in it was offside, but he put in a major tackle against Marcus Rashford.
If he was such a good save, he's starting every game. He would be.
Yeah.
He'd be good in every game. He'd be that.
Yeah, but has he not been starting? Because Ben Gibson has been excellent. For me, Ben Gibson, I will say this. Ben Gibson's been our best defender this season.
He's a Champions League. He's played in the Champions League. He's played in top league of the Bundesliga. He has. He should be commanding. He's like to get any Champions League defender there.
Yeah, but should he be getting in the team if other players are performing better?
Well, how would you know he's not performing if you don't stick and give him a chance?
Well, you have to give him a chance, but you can't take Ben Gibson out after the last few performances.
We said he was doing good. He said he was good in that against Man United.
He was very good against Man United. To be fair,
he should be playing then, and he should be in the team. With Hanley out now. Yeah. He should give him more of an opportunity.
I think he'll start tonight. I think Jakob Sorensen, after that performance against Manchester United. In fact, I think for me the back line will probably look like that. I can't really see the team changing after that performance against United. Maybe we might see Todd Cantwell. Maybe we might see Williams, and moving swiftly on, we'll move on to Dimitri Yanulis. I've said it since the start of the season. This man is one of the most cultured footballers we've got at this football club, and that is a fact. This man is excellent, especially going forward. He's got the ability of Marcelo. He's a genius with the ball. But for me, I think with Giannoulis, he's a player that I'd like to see pushed forward a little bit. I think Williams defensively, undoubtedly better than Giannoulis. Defensively, yes, fair enough, he's better. So for me, he won't drop him because he had a good game. But for me, I would take out Sargent against Villa tonight.
Michael McGovern.
No, and I would have Giannoulis up here on the wing, and I would play Williams. I would play Williams at fullback. So the team would I'd probably stick with the formation, although I like the 4-2-3-1.
We could go for a more of a 4-4-2 narrow, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, we'll rub this off now, and we'll try and say.
Is it more tactics than linked to us?
Yeah. We're actually doing more. We're doing Dean Smith. We're doing your job for you, mate.
Mike Clafford says, take notes, please.
But yeah, I think so. Obviously, we spoke about how we thought Norwich done against United, and should we have a look at how we think we're going to set up against Villa?
Yes, they will. Here you go.
Obviously,
live on camera now. Your spelling's being tested there now.
Oh, here we go. This is going to be interesting. We're going to use. Oh, you got the perfect colour for Aston Villa versus Villa.
Oh wow.
Villa. Right, so for me, I think Norwich will set up pretty much the same. I think, obviously, we know who's going to go up front. It'll be Pookie, because we don't really have any other options at the moment. That's what January is hopefully going to be for.
Christian Benteke, isn't it?
I think for me, I think Plachette has got to start again. I thought he was excellent against Manchester United. Sorry. I thought he was really good. If I've butchered that spelling, all the Polish fans watching this, I do apologise. Now this is a different. This is a strange one for me.
I think you've got overload more in midfield. I think you've got two strikers, so two up front. Then
Would you stick with the same formation?
I would drop Sargent out, and I'll go more on this one, more 4-4-2 narrow.
So would you put? Do you like my idea of Giannoulis going?
Giannoulis will play here. He will.
Okay. See, we agree. Yeah. I'm not the only Norwich fan that said this as well. I've seen lots of Norwich fans across social media saying.
No, I haven't seen nothing.
Giannoulis has got this He's got an attacking prowess to him, and I think he's much better at going forward than Williams. I think when Williams goes forward, he almost slows play down a bit, whereas Giannoulis is getting the ball forward. He's good with the cross, and I think Williams is a much better defender. So for me, I think you're right. We're going to put Giannoulis.
He also gives more defensive cover as well down here. So when you do transition from attack to defend, you come over back five, you do more back six, and Gilmore dropping in as well.
Like Giannoulis can then drop back if he needs to. I think in the middle, I can't see Norman being fit enough to start, so I think I'm probably just going to stick with the same midfield. So that'll be Lucas Rook, who I thought was really good against Manchester United. Kenny McLean. And probably going to stick with Billy Gilmore in the middle, as I think that works really well. And if it wasn't going to look like that, it would look like this, and I would almost, just so they're all playing a bit higher, if Norwich are on the attack, I'd almost stick McLean in there, and then Rook and Gilmore sitting behind McLean, if that makes sense. And I think that's almost more effective.
But you've got to go, when you look at Aston Villa's team,
Yeah.
how they're going to start playing.
It'll be interesting to see how they set up as well, but I think for me that looks good. I think back line will go Williams, as I think he has proved recently just how good he is.
You've changed his team from the start of the season.
Yeah, from the start of the season I didn't like him, but defensively he's bloody excellent, mate. He really is good. I think we'll go Kabak again. Kabak, I would go Sorensen again. Sorensen and obviously Maxi Aarons.
I see a real right back try, isn't it?
Well, I mean, Williams is actually a right back, so I mean.
But if you sacrifice him.
Yeah, but if Aarons had a number of bad games, you put Williams here and put Giannoulis back here, and then obviously Tim coming up.
He hasn't got really much health.
Yeah, well, we've got Angus Gunn. I mean, I'm not gonna. This game against Charlton that we've got in the cup, I really do hope that Angus Gunn gets his chance, and I think we'll see a very different team. But for me, this is the team that I line up with against Villa. I think Younulis going forward, so much attacking prowess to him, and he's going to be dangerous getting the cross in. It's just have we got the players that are going to be able to meet the crosses. Obviously, he's good with set pieces, and I thought Placheta deserves another start. I thought he played really, really well.
But he needs
Sorensen, you can't take him out.
Really?
Yeah, with Placheta, obviously he is so quick, and when he goes forward, he's going to be the only one that's quick enough to be up
But
there
Aaron
with him.
has got the pace, and he has shown it.
It depends how. It all depends how Villa sets up, because if Norwich can utilise these wide areas with Younulis, with Placheta, I know there's going to be a lot of Norwich fans thinking he's a left back. What's he doing up there? But he's a CDM. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's just more defensive side
exactly
for transitioning positioning.
Exactly.
And
Norwich can be more effective.
Yeah, with him dropping in, with Gilmore dropping as well.
You go for a back three: Williams, Kabak, and Sorensen, all centre halves, and then Younulis.
It's like how Leicester played the solid team with Pereira, I think it was.
If Norwich are then on the back foot as well, McLean's got a bit of pace, so you could almost put McLean out here. So when Williams goes in here, they all shift across, and then obviously Younulis goes down here. You then put McLean out here, and these two spread out as well. So then, I think that's probably the best way Norwich can set up, and it's going to be interesting. Obviously, from the bench, you've got Josh Sargent. He's a workhorse. He'll come on. He'll run around like a maniac. He'll go in front of goal and probably miskick the ball. I love Josh Sargent to bits, but in front of goal, he just really.
I would take any striker looking like
I mean, I'll tell you who I'd look after, and I want everyone in the comment section to tell me a striker that Norwich could look for in January, and this is going to sound stupid because he's a little bit of a low level, but he's doing really well in the Championship at the moment. It's Adebayo from Luton. I've been watching him all season, and his movement, his finishing is excellent. And for me, he just looks like a better player than Josh Sargent. Like his ability on the ball, he's quick, he's strong, he's wins headed. He's scored 4 or 5 headers this season. He looks absolutely excellent. He's a player that I think should be on Dean Smith's radar. I think he's also, obviously Dean Smith will want to look into the Villa Academy, and if he brings someone in that we don't know, then we have to trust it, don't we? Because obviously he's going to know those young players more than we do, and if anyone's going to beat Villa, it'll be Dean Smith. He knows this team like the back of his hand. He knows the players. Yes, obviously Gerrard is going to use a completely different formation. He'll change it up. He will know that Dean Smith knows the players, and he'll obviously try and mess with that. But I think Norwich could easily match Villa, and if they play how they did against Manchester United, I think we could get a really good result. What do you think, Dave?
It's just like I said to you, it's just consistency. Can these players, these young players who haven't really challenged before...
That's right, actually. These are very young teams.
Yeah. When you look at these players, apart from Krul, Pookie, they're your 2 leaders in the team.
Yeah.
Can they inspire this team to beat Villa? When you look at the players Villa's got, the experience Villa's got, they've got Mings, Young, Martinez, the players, they've got more leaders than you have. And what can they do to stop you? Because when we look at how Villa attack with Watkins, Bailey, even McGinn, people like that, when they go forward, we're having Ashley Young in there, like they play how you want to play here with Young and Target down on the left to do. So it's something to think about for you as well for Norwich.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think obviously with Grant out, we have to pick a captain. For me, it's this man here, Kenny McLean, the mayor of Norwich. I think if anyone's going to captain this team tonight, it will probably be McLean. Obviously, if this team is any sort accurate, then I'll send you all your lottery numbers this evening. But yeah, I think McLean will be the captain, either him or Krul. You said Pookie and Krul, but McLean's also another player with a lot of experience.
But not like, with Krul?
Obviously he's got Premier League experience, but
experience.
McLean's quite a commanding player. Obviously he starts a lot for Scotland and he's done well for them over the years, so it'll be interesting. But I think if Norwich can get a result here, then our season all of a sudden, once again, because of how tight it is at the bottom, our season then looks very different.
If we're turning nothing around, it's like Newcastle, you can see the players are giving 100%, the system is working for them, but the players just haven't got the quality. You can really see the lack of quality. When you watched them, I think last week it was, you can still, they're giving 100% in the games they are. It's not the trying, it's just that they're just teams that have got quality. You can't say there's any quality in a Newcastle team, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously they've got players like St Maximin. They bought Joel Linton for 40 million. Yes, he hasn't really done much. I thought he looked quite good against Norwich, and They've got these good players, and they've
United-
only got players that are better than ours, but
Yeah.
ours seem to be performing better.
Because we said individually they're good. Like Sir Maximin and Wilks are good, but if you've got no one supplying them anything into them,
Yeah.
they're not going to do
and,
well.
and this is what I like about Norwich, because yes, we haven't got the finishing capability yet. Yeah, it will come. It will come. It has taken over half a season, but it will come. But Norwich always work as a team. They always work as a team. They stick together. They're strong together, and that's what I thought we done really well against Manchester United. The pressing was absolutely excellent. I thought for 90 minutes, yes, they got the lucky penalty, but for 90 minutes, I thought we absolutely outworked them. And I think Gary Neville said something similar in his post-match interview. But it'll be interesting to see what everyone thinks in the comment section down below. It'll be interesting to see what sort of results you think Norwich can get out of this game against Villa. And David, what's your score prediction, mate?
I'm saying 2-1 Villa.
2-1 Villa. Oh, you absolute pessimist. Who's
I'm a Lincoln
who's your
man.
goal scorers?
I think it'd be Watkins. I think Tyra Mings.
Watkins, Tyrone Mings, who's scoring for Norwich?
I think Pookie.
Oh, it's got to be Pookie. For me, I think we look solid at the back against Manchester United. I don't think we'll concede against Villa.
But Villa, look at their defence as well, and
I-
today's their goal as well.
I don't think we'll concede against Villa. And I think today, the goals are going to come. Norwich City 2, Villa 0.
Oh, 2-0.
For me,
How strong Villa's defence?
goal scorers, Timo Pukki and Przemysław Płacheta.
If he gets an own goal, I think you might be right.
And if that happens, again, in the comment section, I'll send you lottery numbers. And you guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this little analysis of Norwich's performance against Manchester United, and obviously our pre-match guessing, I guess, of our pre-match predictions for the Villa game. But hopefully you've enjoyed today's video and you've been watching.
From the bench.
Bye-bye.